Atlantis, The Lost Empire Beneath the Waves Part 1. It began with a story. Not a chronicle, not a legend passed from mouth to mouth, but a philosophical dialogue. Somewhere around 360 BC, the ancient Greek philosopher Plato penned two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, in which he outlined the rise and fall of a mysterious land, Atlantis. His tale was not presented as a fable. Instead, it was told through the mouth of Critias, who claimed to have inherited the account from Solon, a respected Athenian lawmaker who had heard it from Egyptian priests. Atlantis, according to Plato, was a massive island larger than Libya and Asia combined, situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, today's Strait of Gibraltar. It was a land of unmatched wealth, adorned with palaces, canals, temples, and advanced agriculture. Its people were born from the god Poseidon and a mortal woman, and their civilization thrived for generations. But this wasn't just an account of glory. Atlantis, in Plato's view, was a cautionary tale, a mirror reflecting the inevitable downfall of societies that become morally bankrupt. The Atlanteans, once noble, had grown arrogant. They challenged Athens, a symbol of the ideal state in Plato's mind. In divine retribution, Atlantis was swallowed by the sea in a single day and night of misfortune. Was it allegory? Was it true? Failed in storytelling? Scholars for centuries have debated these questions. Ever since Plato's dialogues surfaced, Atlantis has gripped the human imagination. From Renaissance scholars to modern treasure hunters, the idea of a powerful empire lost beneath the ocean continues to captivate. But why? Why has this one story, out of the thousands left behind by the ancients, managed to stay alive for over 2 millennia? The answer may lie not in the literal truth of the tale, but in what it represents: the dream of a utopia, the fear of catastrophe, and the unrelenting hope that something great still lies undiscovered beneath the waves. The 19th century resurrection of Atlantis. In 1882, a new chapter began. Ignatius Donnelly, a former U.S. congressman and writer, published Atlantis, the Antediluvian World. Donnelly was convinced that Atlantis was not only real but was the source of all ancient civilizations. Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Mayans. According to him, after the island sank, its survivors spread knowledge around the world. Donnelly's work, though criticized by scholars, reignited the Atlantis debate. He proposed that Atlantis was located in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, precisely where Plato had described. He argued that only a powerful mother civilization could explain the sudden emergence of metallurgy, language, and agriculture in ancient societies. His ideas were bold, speculative, and deeply inspiring to those who longed to believe. Science enters the conversation. The 20th century brought a new contender into the fray: geology. With the rise of plate tectonics and the mapping of the ocean floor, the scientific community began analyzing whether a sunken continent could actually exist. Sadly for Atlantis seekers, modern geology ruled out the possibility of a massive landmass vanishing from the Atlantic in the last 10,000 years. But this didn't stop the theories, it only redirected them. Some suggested that Atlantis might have been located near the Azores, where underwater ridges hint at ancient volcanic activity. Others believed it to be Antarctica, buried under ice due to a sudden crustal shift. Still others tied Atlantis to the Minoan civilization on Crete and Santorini, which was devastated by a massive volcanic eruption around 1600 BC. Minoans and Santorini, the historical Atlantis. Perhaps the most plausible candidate for the Atlantis tale is the Bronze Age Minoan civilization. Flourishing on the island of Crete, the Minoans built vast palaces, developed a written script, and traded widely across the Mediterranean. Then, without warning, they vanished. The culprit: the eruption of the Thera volcano on the nearby island of Santorini. This catastrophic event, one of the most powerful in human history, triggered tsunamis, ash clouds, and agricultural collapse. Crete suffered greatly, and the Minoan civilization crumbled. It fits Plato's story, a powerful maritime culture, wealthy and advanced, destroyed in a sudden cataclysm. But what if? Despite the historical correlations, many Atlantis believers reject the Minoan theory. To them, Atlantis was not just advanced, it was godlike. They imagine Atlanteans wielding lost technologies, mastering energy, or even communicating telepathically. This image of Atlantis blends myth, science fiction, and lost history into something much more than archaeology. It becomes a symbol for what we once were, or what we might still become. Atlantis, the Lost Empire Beneath the Waves Part 2. Part 2, The Secrets Beneath Echoes of Lost Worlds. The mystery of Atlantis was never meant to remain within the confines of ancient texts. As generations passed, whispers of a lost world beneath the waves continued to surface in the minds of scholars, dreamers, and explorers alike. From the foggy shores of the Mediterranean to the vast and noble abyss of the Pacific Ocean, the question echoed louder: did Atlantis truly exist, or are we chasing shadows? Yamaguni, the Japanese Atlantis. In 1986, far from the Mediterranean cradle of Western thought, a discovery shook the world of underwater archaeology. Kihachiro Aritake, a diver exploring off the coast of Yamaguni, Japan, stumbled upon what appeared to be a massive underwater structure. Terraced, angular, and clearly shaped by more than just ocean currents. This was no ordinary rock formation. As word spread, the site began drawing scientists and spiritualists alike. Among the most notable was Dr. Masaaki Kimura, a marine geologist who spent years studying the Yamaguni Monument. Initially skeptical, Kimura soon became convinced that the structure had been shaped by intelligent hands. Rectilinear steps, flat walls, straight edges, and even what resembled carvings were all present. Was this Atlantis? Perhaps not in name, but Yamaguni breathed new life into the idea that ancient civilizations, perhaps predating even our earliest records, may have existed and been erased by rising seas. A global pattern of submersion. Atlantis, it turns out, might not be alone. From the Bimini Road in the Bahamas to sunken ruins near Malta and Egypt, the world is scattered with enigmatic underwater sites. In 2001, scientists discovered submerged structures off the western coast of India that resembled a lost city. Dated to more than 9,000 years ago, early aligning with Plato's timeline for Atlantis. Some researchers speculated it could be an ancient port city, submerged by glacial meltwater. Meanwhile, the Bimini Road, a line of submerged stones off the coast of the Bahamas, has long intrigued researchers and believers. Though mainstream geologists claim the stones are a natural formation, the regularity of their shape and alignment has fueled suspicions that they are the remnants of ancient construction. Could it be that multiple Atlantean-type civilizations existed across the globe? Not one Atlantis, but many, each a product of its time, each lost to the rising tides. The Herculean Revelation. Then came one of the most dramatic underwater discoveries in history, Herculean. For centuries, Herculean was thought to be a legend. It was said to be a city of gods and pharaohs, a trading hub off the coast of Egypt where Herodotus himself claimed to have walked. And then, like Atlantis, it vanished. In 1999, marine archaeologist Frank Gaudio and his team found it submerged beneath the Mediterranean Sea, near the Nile Delta. Over the next several years, they uncovered vast ruins, sphinxes, columns, coins, and statues of gods. Stone inscriptions and temple foundations emerged from the silt, perfectly preserved in the water. Herculean was real. And if it had once been thought mythical like Atlantis, what other myths might also be rooted in history? Lemuria, the Forgotten Continent. Even further afield lies the legend of Lemuria. While Atlantis is most often associated with the Atlantic, Lemuria is said to lie in the Indian or Pacific Ocean. According to esoteric traditions, Lemuria was a vast continent inhabited by a race of highly spiritual beings, sometimes described as tall, with luminous skin and deep understanding of cosmic laws. Though the name originated from 19th century zoological theories to explain the presence of similar lemur fossils in Madagascar and India. Lemuria quickly captured the imaginations of theosophists and mystics. They believed Lemurians communicated through telepathy, had no need for spoken language, and vanished beneath the waves following a great cataclysm. In some versions of the legend, Lemuria and Atlantis coexisted with great civilizations, one driven by technology and conquest, the other by spirituality and harmony. Their conflict, some say, led to mutual destruction. Scientific rebuttals and open minds. Mainstream science remains cautious. The tectonic plates of Earth move, yes, but not in such a way as to completely submerge an entire continent overnight. Modern geology dismisses the idea of lost continents on the scale described by Plato or theosophical texts. And yet, the Earth was very different 10,000 years ago. Sea levels were lower. Ice sheets covered vast portions of the planet. As the Earth warmed, entire coastlines were swallowed. Instead of asking whether Atlantis existed exactly as he described, they're asking, what did Plato know, and from whom did he learn? Could remnants of early advanced societies have existed along those ancient shores now lying miles beneath the waves? If so, they wouldn't be listed in history books. They'd be in the sea. Atlantis as metaphor or memory, asterisk asterisk. One theory gaining popularity is that Atlantis was not one place, but a cultural memory. The flood myths shared across civilizations from the Epic of Gilgamesh to the Bible's Noah, to the ancient Indian tales of Manu could all be echoes of real events. Catastrophic floods, whether from tsunamis or melting ice sheets, would have devastated early human settlements. Atlantis may be an echo, not just of a place but of a trauma carried across generations. A new generation of exploration. Today, satellites peer into the deep with radar. Drones dive into dark crevices and reconstruct ruined cities in 3 dimensions. The tools of myth are meeting the tools of science. A new generation of oceanographers, archaeologists, and even amateur sleuths are re-examining Plato's clues with open minds. Conclusion: the silence of the sea. Atlantis may never be found. Or perhaps it already has beneath the ruins of Santorini, beneath the waves off Yanagoni, or resting quietly off the Nile Delta. But the story isn't just about a place. It's about a yearning. A deep, primal sense that we have forgotten something essential. That our past is longer and more mysterious than we've been taught. And that the sea, eternal and secretive, still holds the keys to truths we're not yet ready to face. The search continues not just in the oceans, but within ourselves.